Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to me as well. Just got back from a 2-week vacation. Taken this last week to settle in, make some content here, including this video. Me and a friend, we went up to the Quebec North Shore and Labrador and other iron ore railroads up there. That was a really cool trip, but it's good to be home, and I can't wait to get back to the model railroading and model trains and all that. So today we're going to be looking at N-scale AC4400CWs. We've got a ScaleTrains model here. This is part of their second run. I believe they released this about a month ago now. And then this is Kato's version of the AC44. This particular one is about 25 years old, but I don't believe Kato has really updated their tooling so much, so I think it'll work for the video. These are the only two manufacturers that I'm aware of that have made AC44s, which is kind of surprising to me, to be honest, but here we are. First glance, there are some very stark differences, one of them being that the ScaleTrains unit does have a lot more detail to it. Specifically separately applied details. If you look close enough on the Kato model, the details are there, but they're molded in to the body. Very basic, which is seems to be pretty typical for a 25-year-old model, but that is one thing I'm hoping Kato might update soon, although I do like that it keeps their prices down compared to other manufacturers. So let's take a closer look at some of these details here. Alright, so we're going to start here with the cabs. This is where I think most of the differences are noticeable. The ScaleTrains unit has, or I should say both of them have, separately applied handrails. Stay in focus here. Separately applied handrails. The front stanchions. ScaleTrains has the yellow stripes on the steps. The Kato one does not. The Kato paint's much more simpler, and even the handrails are not painted. The ScaleTrains unit has the coupler trip pins, the MU cables. Kato's does have some MU cables there, but those are molded into the plow. The plow is a separately applied on the Kato model, as is on the ScaleTrains model. We got separately applied grab irons on the nose, on top of the nose. Kato's here are molded in. So I can just rub that right over it. One thing I did notice, I actually just noticed this as I was getting ready to make the video. Kato, the top of the nose, has the black nose, the black no-slip surface. ScaleTrains does not. ScaleTrains is blue. I even looked into this. I could not find any pictures of a CSX AC44 and YN2 with blue on top of the nose. So that is one thing that Kato actually got right and ScaleTrains missed. On some units now it is more difficult to tell because the blue has gotten so faded or dirty. It is hard to notice the transition between the blue and the black on the nose, but that should be black top there. Zoom in here. This particular CSX unit on ScaleTrains has the Spirit of Dante decaling. That's what CSX 391 is. Kato unit's just CSX 18, nothing super special about that one. On the ScaleTrains unit here, there is molded louvers on the battery box covers. We've got the builder's sticker there, American flag, lightning bolt, locomotive designation. There's even some stickers down here. See the camera? There you go. Got some stickers down here with more warnings and whatnot. Swinging over to the Kato unit, we do have this sticker here, same as on the ScaleTrains unit. We also have the GE builder's plate sticker thing there. We do have molded louvers on the sides of the cab here. One thing I don't know is how accurate, you can see that there's slightly different versions. I don't know how accurate each of those are to the respective models. It could be an early production, late production thing. It could be replacements. That's not something I'm super familiar with. But you can see the Kato unit does not have the American flag, but it does have the lightning bolt and the locomotive designation on that. As for number boards, moving around to the front here, the ScaleTrains unit has, well, they both have number boards, but one thing about the ScaleTrains unit I noticed, and I'm not so sure I'm a huge fan of, and it could just be a manufacturing defect, the plastic inserts on this one are slightly protruding from the nose. Oh, camera fell. I don't know how you can see that, but it is not sitting flush with the nose, and you can see that on the other one as well. You can see it a little bit better over here, how it's not sitting flush. The Kato ones, though, however, do sit flush, and they're very nice. You do have to put them in yourself, though. I did have to do that. When I got the unit, the ScaleTrains one, I did not. ScaleTrains number boards, I believe, are lit. The Kato ones are not, so there's one spot where the ScaleTrains one is a little better. I think we'll now move to the front of the cabs. So we'll go over to Kato first. Kato here, I mentioned the molded on grab irons, and the windshield wipers are also molded into the windshield plastic. We don't have a sunshade on the side here. No other details around the window, although we do have some really cool riveting detail that is molded in there, so we did get that. ScaleTrains unit here, again, I already mentioned the separately applied grab irons. A separately applied grab iron up here on top of the cab, along with some radio equipment. Grab iron above the cab here, as well as separately applied windshield wipers. We also have sunshade, wind deflector, mirrors, and all other details around the cab window. And the ScaleTrains one, if it'll focus well, does have that nice detailing around the window as well. Trucks, I can't really compare these too well because there are completely different kinds of trucks. These have the standard, or the early GE high adhesion trucks. The ScaleTrains unit, this one has the, what's the name of it? I can't remember if GE calls them radial trucks. I think radial is what EMD called theirs. Steerable trucks. That's what GE calls them, as the GE steerable trucks. Both sets of trucks are detailed wonderfully. You can see there a lot of hoses, piping. Even the Kato one has a decent amount of piping. You can kind of see it there. So, moving down the cab here, or down the hood I should say, you can see warning stickers all down the hood of the ScaleTrains unit. The Kato one does not have that, but they do have the molded meshing on the grills. ScaleTrains also has the molded up on top of the cab here. You can see ScaleTrains has the stickers. Kato, too far. Kato also has the stickers on top. Down the long hood. The colors are slightly different. That is not a thing of the camera. Kato's colors are a little bit darker, a little duller, not as vibrant as ScaleTrains. Horn. Kato has a 3-chime horn. I believe that's pretty standard for all of their AC44s. ScaleTrains has the more correct 5-chime K5LA horn on there. Exhaust stacks, pretty similar. Nerd out over the exhaust stacks. So, got that there. One of the biggest differences I notice down here on the back end of the units is the radiator grills. Katos are just molded on here, whereas ScaleTrains actually has a separately applied grill sitting on top of the radiator housing. So that's really cool. Another thing, ScaleTrains is the seams between the different panels are much more noticeable than over here on the Kato unit. Another difference here is location of this grill and the location of this grill. I don't know off the top of my head which one of those is accurate. I'll put something on the video to let you guys know. And then back here you can see on the Kato unit the other grills down there and the ScaleTrains ones. Now, frame details, we'll push the Kato one so you can see it a little bit better. It's pretty basic. You got the nicely detailed trucks. You got a simple fuel tank with the air reservoirs. You can kind of see those. And then back to the next truck. With the ScaleTrains unit, this fuel tank is a little bit better detailed. You got the fuel gauge, fuel filler cap. That should be the emergency fuel shutoff button there. You got some stickers on the air reservoirs. I'm blanking on what that is. We got some chains here. This is for the handbrake, which is mounted on the other side of the locomotive. But we've got those chains modeled. A few more stickers. Kato unit has that sticker on the rear of the locomotive as well. And here's some more body stickers. Absent from the Kato unit, except for this one. ScaleTrains does have this unit, or this, not unit, sticker. And the Kato locomotive also has that sticker right there. So, generally, these locomotives are pretty close in detailing. The Kato unit being 25 years older. They got most of the details in there. Kato unit, you can see there's an indentation in the hood for the sand filler cap, but it's not really modeled. ScaleTrains, it is modeled really well. As for the heights of the CSX decals, they got those lined up pretty well. The ScaleTrains one looks a little bit bigger than what's on the Kato unit. And again, same as the front, got a lot more details on the plow here than on the Kato unit. Although the Kato one does have these separately applied MU hoses on either side of the coupler. Now, the other side of the units is pretty similar to the side I just showed you. Biggest difference on the AC44s is the large inverter cabinet, which has been modeled. I do believe both of these are accurate. It just depends on the particular production cycle of these locomotives. The Kato one being an 18, it's an earlier production, it's got a lot more of these panels. And the 391 being later in the production cycle has fewer, larger panels on it. Again, ScaleTrains has these very large stickers, and if I were to zoom, look at them close enough, I don't know if the camera can focus on it well enough or not. Probably not. They are legible, which is really cool. The Kato unit does have some of these stickers. You can see here. Not all of them that ScaleTrains has, but most of them. And then again, this is this detail here versus on the Kato unit. Slightly different. I believe those are just variations throughout production of the locomotive. Again, on this side of the fuel tank, we've got the emergency stop, fuel filler, fuel gauge. Over on the Kato unit. They are molded into here. See, there's the fuel gauge. And they put the fuel filler cap right on top of it and the emergency stop. They're just not painted, but they are molded in there. Vents on the back. These ones are pretty much the same. Got a handbrake, these vents, stickers. Go over to the Kato unit. Same thing, just missing I think one sticker right here that the ScaleTrains unit doesn't have. So pretty much these units are very, very alike. Just some slight variations, but I think most of the small variations could be attributed to design changes throughout the production cycle of the AC44. They were built over many years, and they were always being improved and redesigned. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the performance of these two engines, and then I'll show you guys the locomotives running, because we like trains that run and move. The Kato unit runs so perfectly. It's a Kato unit. Kato has an excellent track record and reputation of smoothly running locomotives, and their AC44s are no different at all. The ScaleTrains unit is pretty good. Their details are definitely their best factor that goes towards these units. I'm not trying to downplay the pulling performance of the locomotive, but it is excellent. It just doesn't seem to pull quite as much, and it doesn't run quite as smoothly as the Kato unit. Again, nothing against ScaleTrains. Kato just figured out how to do it, and nobody's matched Kato in the smoothness and quietness of their locomotives. So nothing against ScaleTrains. It's an absolute wonderful model, runs well. So let's see them pulling some trains. All right. So here we've got the ScaleTrains unit on a coal train. Nice long coal train stretches over there. And then the Atlas, I think I keep saying Atlas. The Kato unit is over on the right there, pulling a intermodal and TOFC train. So in real life, this would not be a fair performance test whatsoever, but the trains are close enough to the same weight that we can look and see how well, or we can see these units run in pretty similar conditions. So we'll start with the ScaleTrains unit. Actually, I should start with the Kato one because it's on the rear track. So I was wrong earlier. The Kato unit does have lit up number boards. They just turn on and off with the headlight, same with the ditch lights. The ScaleTrains unit does also have lit number boards. They turn on when you turn the sound on. And it does have the wrong buttons. The ScaleTrains unit also has separate ditch lights from the headlight, something the Kato unit doesn't have. But that's that. I'm not going to do the sounds on a ScaleTrain unit. It's same sounds as in all the other ScaleTrains locomotives. You can look back at some of the videos I've done previously on ScaleTrains locomotives, or feel free to go check out other people's videos. Wonderful, wonderful videos that they've done on ScaleTrains locomotives. I won't be offended. I'm telling you to go do it if you're interested. This is just a comparison video of the two AC44s that are offered in Scale. So we'll start with the Kato unit here. Start out slow. Technical difficulties, we'll be right back. Trains like to run on their own now. Beep, beep. Reset. Alright, we're now ready to go. Action. So we'll start out the Kato unit nice and slow. So you can see that's it's not quite speed step 1. I have messed with the programming, so it's not exactly where it would like to be, or it's not right where it is out of the box. It also hasn't warmed up. It hasn't ran in probably over a month, so it's a little stiff. But you can see that's pretty much slow speed. It's not very jerky, very smooth, very controlled. Let's see what the ScaleTrains unit here can do. Start up speed step 1. This I have not touched the programming on yet. It's still pretty much fresh out of the box. It's very smooth as well, just like the Kato unit. It is slightly jerky, but that can be fixed, changing some of the CVs there. So both operate really well at slow speed. The ScaleTrains unit is slightly noisier. I don't know if you can hear that in the video. Rewind if you want, check out the different sound differences. The ScaleTrains unit is a little bit raspier than the Kato unit. Kato unit's almost completely silent, which is why I love it so much. But increasing the throttle is not really going to show you much different other than the trains run. But we can do that because I want to watch trains run. And I think you guys do too. So we'll get these locomotives going. Another thing, ScaleTrains unit have a little bit more of that momentum programmed into them. I hope my tripod's not in the way. Doesn't look like it is. Just getting stuck on the grate a little bit. Need a little more power. Alright, so there we go. They're both off. Both off pulling their trains around. Oop, I knocked an engine over. That's less than ideal. But try to catch the ScaleTrains one up a little bit. But they both run so excellent. I have run these two units as a pair. It was a bit difficult because they're not speed matched. The Kato unit runs about twice as fast as the ScaleTrains unit does, so actually I take that back. I think it's the other way around. ScaleTrains unit runs faster than the Kato unit does on like flat track and such. But they both run so excellent, and definitely two of my favorite locomotives, performance-wise, even looks-wise. I know the Kato one's basic, and a lot of people are like, ooh, details matter. Well, they're both pulling trains, aren't they? And from here, they pretty much look the same, so that's good enough for me. So as long as they pull trains and they look good doing it, which they both do. So hopefully at the next train show that I create a video for, I do have some old train show videos here that I'm going to be working on releasing over the next couple months. I think the next train show that I'll be running trains at won't be until November, so it'll be a while before we see these two units probably put together. But nevertheless, so I'm running out of things to say here. I won't throw the details. Any questions you have, please put them in the comments. I'll try to answer them best I can. But we got some great videos coming up. Some other new products. Just got some microtrain stuff, so we're gonna make that video right after I finish filming this one here. And then got train show videos to do. A bunch of those actually over the last few years. Some of those. And if you guys ever want to see any videos in particular, feel free to ask. This video was an idea of someone, so I was probably going to do this video regardless, but they did ask, so here we are doing it. Pushed up to the front of the priority list, so if you guys ever want to see any video in particular, feel free to ask and I'll try my best to make that video for you. Trying to think if there's anything else. I guess there's probably some changes coming up to my channel. If I remember correctly, I think we're closing in on 1,000 subscribers, so that's exciting. I've got some ideas of what I want to do when we hit that milestone. I think you guys will like what there is. So if you're watching this and are not subscribed, please do so. Let's reach that 1,000 subscribers even faster. If you are subscribed, tell your friends. I think they'd like to see what's planned. So thanks for watching. I know I started rambling. Not one of my more polished videos. I think the last actual video I made was quite a few months ago. Again, I was on vacation last couple weeks. I'm settling into a new job. Just finished school, so life's changing. But model trains aren't going anywhere, don't worry. I hope to increase my production of videos here. So just bear with me on that. This video is also done handheld. I think I did a pretty good job. A little shaky, but I'm still figuring out. I redid this area a little bit, so I'm still figuring out how I want to set up to do videos. But I'm going to keep trying to get these videos for you. So if you enjoyed this, well, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please hit that like button. Leave a comment. I gave you guys a whole bunch of reasons to comment. Or you guys can just comment because you want to. Feel free. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. If not for any other reason, then I like to watch that number go up. I don't know. So, if you do subscribe, or if you're even already subscribed, hit that bell notification button to be notified of new videos that come out. Because again, I'm going to be pumping out more videos. Hopefully at least every other week, but I'm going to try to aim for once a week. So please give me some ideas. I need ideas. I've got a lot of old videos to pump out, but I'm always looking for new stuff, and I like doing the new stuff more than the old stuff, so please let me know. Thanks again. Thanks again for watching. Summer's upon us, so hope you guys have a great summer, and may the model railroading gods be with you. Now your N-Scaler, signing off.